Hello everyone, welcome to what's happening in Brazil. Let's start by taking a look at the latest news from the country.
An electoral survey shows that the political polarization in Brazil is marked by social divisions. The survey analyzed the voting preferences for the presidency according to the interviewee's gender, race, and monthly income. And the result is that Lula is leading the preference among women, the poor, and black people. Among the female electorate, half intend to vote in Lula, while only 24% support Bolsonaro's re-election. The rest of the votes go to other candidates, are casted blank or spoiled. Among men, the picture is quite different, showing the two main candidates almost tied. 42% votes for Bolsonaro and 39% for Lula. The same disparity happens when the income bracket is analyzed. Among rich people, 36% say they prefer Lula and 43% prefer Bolsonaro. Among poor voters, which have a monthly income up to 2 minimum wages, Lula has 56% of the voting intention, while Bolsonaro has only 22%. Most of the black voters also supports former President Lula, 59% against 23% supporting Bolsonaro. Among white people, there is a virtual tie. 39% are with Lula and 37% with the country's current president. More than 50 pre-candidacies of black people were launched on June 6th. The initiative was named Quilombo in the Parliament and brings together several political parties of the left and center-left. The pre-candidates will run for positions in the National Congress and state legislative assemblies. Candidates will be launched in 18 of the 26 Brazilian states and also in the federal district. The goal of this initiative is to include the agendas of black movements in the national political agenda. In the most recent elections, in 2018, a little more than 20% of the elected deputies declared themselves as black. Among the Brazilian population, black people represent 54%.
For more than a year, residents of a small city in Maranhão state have been suffering the consequences of mining dam burst. This structure belongs to the Canadian group Equinox Gold. One of the complaints of the residents is the difficulty of accessing drinking water.
In March 2021, about 4,000 residents of the Aurizona district in the city of Godofredo Viana, Maranhão state, had their water supply interrupted due to the break of a dam of the Canadian group Equinox Gold, one of the biggest of its kind in the world.
Our lake was not only a water source, but also a source of food, since many mothers used to fish there. When the dam broke, it affected the water supply and also men's canoes, boats, motorboats, and nets, which were gone. Due to this burst, family men had no means of work.
Technical reports presented by the movement of people affected by dams point out metal contamination with a toxic potential in the water of Aurizona. After intense protests, the court ordered the Canadian company to provide drinking water until the full reestablishment of the water supply. For now, residents are receiving water in gallons or water trucks. The movement of people affected by dams has been following the case and has denounced that, during the past year, the company has been reducing the signed guarantees in a judicial agreement with the affected families, especially regarding water supply.
Because of our fight and the family's claims, Equinox Gold began to guarantee access to water with gallons of mineral water. Even today, water is provided to us, but precariously. The problem has continued for more than a year. However, instead of expanding water supply and solving the issue, the company has been reducing drinking water distribution to the community.
In a statement, Equinox Gold informs that the company has fully complied with all commitments established to assist the population, such as the recovery of damages in the local structure, particularly roads, and full water supply with the construction of a new water treatment station.
Fashion industry has serious environmental consequences from raw materials productions to the disposal of clothes. Thinking about reducing these impacts, small businesses of Ceará state are betting on reselling used clothing and reusing material that would be discarded.
Every year, the clothing industry consumes 93 trillion liters of water, which means 4% of the annual world supply of fresh water. The data are from Ellen MacArthur Foundation, and the figures are really big. They equate something around 37 million Olympic pools. Yes, that is used every year.
Só para se ter uma ideia do...
To give you an idea of the impact generated, it is necessary 2,720 liters of water to make a cotton t-shirt. It is the quantity of water that a person consumes for 3 years. Therefore, today there are small businesses that have been thinking of alternatives to reduce environmental impacts and encourage more conscious consumption. Thrift stores are a good example of it. Despite not being a novelty, it was more recently that they broke the image people have about them as a place of old products.
The social environmental impact has always been present in our brand. Our bag, for example, is made with textile waste, so we collect from companies that produce textile waste and we transform it into packaging so that it can be reused by other people. When you buy from thrift stores, when you buy second-hand clothing, you are preventing a brand new piece of clothing from being produced, and that has an environmental impact. And we put this information on the tag of each sale, the amount of carbon dioxide or water that wasn't produced.
Besides thrift stores, small brands are also adopting environmental issues as their premise, even selling first-hand clothing.
We use natural materials such as linen, cotton, and viscose. Also, we have an internal plan to reduce the impact of textile waste. We have models developed to make full use of the fabrics, and we produce free gifts with scraps. So all of our production was already thought to be sustainable, both the raw materials and the production itself.
In common, both brands from Ceará state share a working space. The house they share, named Frederica's, has businesses ruled by women as its premise, and most of them are mothers. These businesses adopt the same kind of sustainable approach.
In bringing this message as a business, talking from inside this sector to the sector and approaching fashion as something that can change society since we are all dressed, we encourage people to have different attitudes daily.
The recipe we present you today is one of those that everybody loves, cake with chocolate sauce. Plus, it's super easy to prepare.
What about a fluffy chocolate cake that's easy to prepare? A mixer is not even necessary. For this recipe, we mix the cake batter with our own hands. You already know that the golden tip for making a cake is always to sift all the dry ingredients. It will ensure your cake is soft and lump-free. I have not even started to make the dough, but the oven is already heated. This is crucial to making the cake grow and become very soft. Now I'm gonna grease the baking pan and sprinkle flour on it to better unmold the cake. Start to make the dough. Beat the eggs with sugar and a pinch of salt until it incorporates well and looks like a light cream. Add cooking oil and keep beating until it is fully incorporated. Add the wheat flour and mix. Then mix in cocoa powder and mix well. Now I'm gonna scald the dough with hot water. I will add the baking powder later on because if I pour hot water on the baking powder, it will not work anymore. Pour the boiling water. Mix and then beat the dough until it becomes glowing and homogeneous. Finish it with baking powder and mix well. Put the dough in a baking pan and bake it for 20 minutes in the already very hot oven. After 20 minutes, lower the oven temperature to cook the middle of the cake for 15 minutes. Let the cake cool for 10 minutes before unmolding it. After unmolding the cake, prepare the sauce. Mix sugar, cocoa, butter, milk, and water and keep mixing them while cooking until it is not sticking to the bottom of the pan. Pour the hot sauce on the cake.
Did you like the show? So hit the like button and share with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to receive notifications. We'll see you next week.